February was a more eventful month than I thought it would be. We've had so many Formula One watch releases, collaborations, and the Morgan Stanley Swiss watch report is in, and it's not looking good for Omega. In fact, let's start with that. Every year, Morgan Stanley releases a report on the estimated earnings of the Swiss watch industry, and I think this is the most telling one to date. Some standout points for me. 1. Omega is suffering. Even further than that, Swatch Group is struggling. Looking at the 2024 Morgan Stanley report, it was clear Omega was going to drop below Audemars Piguet unless something significant happened. I did not think they'd drop 2 places, from 3rd highest turnover down to 5th, and they've been on the downward trend since 2020. It brings me absolutely no joy to say this, and I know they have a strong group of enthusiasts, but when we look at the black and white numbers, they are declining. I think this is attributed to a cocktail of reasons, including upsetting enthusiasts by increasing their prices so frequently, not having enough brand power for the non-enthusiast purchasers, and not evolving their catalog in keeping with current trends. Now, zooming out, if we look at the top 50 brands, Christopher Ward has entered the chat, coming in at 48 with an estimated 51 million Swiss franc turnover in 2025. It is crazy to see what I thought of as a smaller micro brand just behind Girard Perregaux, Oris, Glashütte Original, and MB&F, all at 52 million Swiss francs. I think this is going to really split opinions. I make a lot of Christopher Ward videos. I have for a while, and I see the comment sections. And there's something humans do when something goes from being underground and feeling like ours to then being mainstream. Christopher Ward is clearly on the up and up, and they seem to be appealing to a wider audience. I really don't like this crabs in a bucket mentality we seem to display when something we love, and we loved before lots of people loved it, starts doing well. Christopher Ward is still making excellent watches. Their ethos has carried through. I think this is a massive win for watch enthusiasts and for micro brands. This feels like one of our own making it, and I think we should celebrate that. Also, this is a brand going against the current trend of increased premiumization, which leads us to number 3. The way Switzerland operates is changing. Current economic factors are squeezing out the more mid-tier entry-level brands, and luxury brands are gaining more market share and increasing margins. Morgan Stanley estimates that the top 4 privately owned watch brands, so that's Rolex, Patek, Audemars Piguet, and Richard Mille, captured about 76% of the Swiss watch industry's operating profit pool at an estimated 18.3 billion Swiss francs in sales. Rolex is a clear cut above everyone else, 11 billion in turnover, with their closest competitor being Cartier at 3.4 billion. Rolex is just in another dimension. So while certain brands eat up more market share, exports are at a multi-decade low. Switzerland exported 14.6 million watches in 2025. Units shipped are down 51% versus the 2011 peak, proving Switzerland isn't making more watches, instead selling fewer and charging more. One of the only improving segments is watches priced over 50,000 Swiss francs, representing 37% of export value and 89% growth in 2025. I think the big takeaway from last year is global wealth has become so concentrated. We now have fewer buyers who can spend a lot of money while the average consumer is tapping out. For a lot of more normal people, it's a combination of price increases, stagnating wages, and inflation on everyday goods. Everything in life has gotten more expensive, that we have less money to spend on fancy wrist jewelry. But ultra wealthy purchasers are pickier with what they get. They aren't buying Longines or Omegas. They are purchasing complicated APs, RMs, precious metal Rolex. Speaking of which, the Billionaires Club, or brands that hit 1 billion in turnover in 2025, shrunk, with Longines leaving the ranks, experiencing an 18% decline, correlating to roughly 920 million Swiss francs for the year. Is that still a lot of money? Yes. Is this a meaningful change? Also yes. The market is growing more reliant on a small group of consumers with deep pockets buying ultra expensive watches. Instead of selling affordable watches to the many, it makes more fiscal sense to sell a few watches to ultra wealthy collectors. The landscape is experiencing the biggest change, I'd argue, since the quartz crisis. The playbook is changing. It's different now. What used to work isn't going to work going ahead. And to be clear, who is profitable now matters for the future. Higher margins equal more boutiques, stronger marketing, more selective distribution, better service, and patience. So the ability to ride out storms. That was grim. Let's talk about Formula One. Breitling has signed on as the official watch partner of Aston Martin F1. They have signed a multi-year deal, which includes their logo on the livery and team apparel, and they have released a new watch celebrating this partnership in the B01 Navitimer 43 Aston Martin Aramco. I was lucky enough to have this in to review. Cole's Note Edition is a Navitimer made in the sportiest way possible. Titanium case, black carbon dial with Aston Martin green sprinkled in there. Strap is inspired by a seatbelt. I really like it. I think Breitling is getting in at exactly the right time, although Aston Martin seems to be getting off to a rocky start, but the Adrian Newey effect should hit in 2027, and I think this partnership makes a lot of sense. Next bit of news is kind of cheating because it wasn't last month, it's this month. It's actually happening right now, and it's the newest IFL drop. Please forgive my horrible Spanish pronunciations. I'm going to do my best here. So this is the IFL Calavera Nocturna, limited to only 300 pieces, and it has just been released today, Monday, March 2nd. Inspired by Dia de los Muertos, which is Mexico's answer to grief. Families welcome back the spirits of the departed with flowers, sugar skulls, music, and a ridiculous amount of food, which is awesome. It's a celebration remembering death is a part of life, with the decorated calavera, or sugar skull, being one of the most well-known symbols of the tradition, grinning and unafraid. IFL has two interpretations, so a 37mm variation and the one I have in the 40mm Nocturna. Every millimeter of this dial is decorated. Flowers, ornamental swirls, butterflies, and bones. And it's an IFL, so of course these are completely hand-painted, so no two pieces are the same. On top of that, it's a great watch. 40mm case diameter, 12mm thickness, 50 meters of water resistance, stainless steel material, in a great go anywhere, do anything package. Visible through the display case back is the caliber 8210 automatic movement, which has 42 hours of power reserve. I love what they're doing. I love these hand-painted dials on iconic watches that I already love. If you want to go check them out, go click the link that is in my description. It will take you to the IFL website. Remember, these are limited 300 pieces. Don't miss out. Make sure you go click that link. And thank you so much to IFL for sponsoring this video. It is the song that never ends. More United States tariff updates. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that the president had exceeded his authority and the previously imposed tariffs are illegal. The big question now is whether people and corporations will be seeing a refund. Many companies, including Costco, have gone to court seeking tariff refunds. It should be a mess untangling the weeds here, but this is fantastic news for the Swiss watch industry. Whether Europeans and Canadians want to hear it or not, the United States is the most powerful purchasing market for the industry, and this restores a lot of faith in doing business with the US. Furthermore, this is great news for American consumers. Tariffs are paid by importers, and the cost is usually passed down to the purchaser. COSC, or COSC, has added a new standard with the Excellence Chronometer certification, which is a higher tier with tighter precision, anti-magnetic, and power reserve standards. The Excellence certification requires accuracy to fall between -2 to +4 seconds per day, exposure to 200 Gauss, and the power reserve is checked to confirm it is in line with the manufacturer specifications. This comes at the 50-year anniversary of the original ISO 3159, and it's probably about time that they updated the specs to this level. Modern build standards are high, but so are the prices, and the certification, the external certification COSC, should reflect that. MEDAS still remains the stricter option, but it's a step in the right direction. Back on actual watches being released, Moser unveiled a new Streamliner tourbillon concept in ceramic. This is the first fully ceramic watch from them, paired with a fume red dial. I mean, it is exactly what it sounds like. It is striking to look at, very Moser in design. This is one of those watches that falls into, I like it, I think it's cool, I'm glad this exists, but I can't afford it in my wildest dreams, retailing for $112,000. Final bit of news from the month, my good friend Adrian Barker collaborated with Christopher Ward to release this watch, the Green 15. It was available for a very short run, February 5th to 12th, and it was a very Adrian take on the C60 Lumiere. I had one into review, and I think there might have been a bit of misunderstanding, or maybe people just distrust it from the start. There was absolutely no money exchanged. I wasn't paid anything. I didn't receive a free watch. A lot of people thought I was heavily incentivized to be nice because Adrian's my friend. Or a lot of people thought, oh, all of YouTubers are just going to be nice about it. I mean, there's nothing I can say to that distrust. Adrian is my friend, but we also have a pretty open friendship. We know that our tastes are different, and we know that we can be honest with each other. I think he did an awesome job here. I love his design input. I thought it was very him. I thought this collaboration made a lot of sense. I'm not sure what elements I was supposed to hate so much. It's very likable. A lot of people distrusted how complimentary I was, and I do get it. I think I would feel exactly the same if I was on the other side of things. But I do like it. There's this really exciting wave of YouTubers and a lot of my friends and fellow in the space releasing collaboration watches. And I think it's awesome. When you spend as much time as these guys do thinking about watches, reviewing watches, I think it's cool to see some of their ideas come to life and watch brands wanting to be a part of that. I titled my video, "This watch is a game changer for watch design," and I think maybe I could have titled that better, and a lot of people seem to have taken offense to it. But this is more what I meant by it. I think it's a pretty big deal that large, growing, significant brands want to work with YouTubers. They want to collaborate with YouTubers, and I think it's a big vote of confidence in this form of creating content and delivering information. Before, limited editions like this were reserved for big publications like Hodinkee, Time and Tide. But having this interest in our form of content, I think is big. I love what was created here. I won't pretend that I didn't, so people think I'm more impartial. I started a YouTube channel to talk about the watches that I like. It was like this overflow of joy around horology and the timepieces that I love, and that's what it remained. It's to showcase the watches that I love, to display them the best way that I can. To the best of my ability, I want to show beautiful watches, and I won't feel pressured to invent grievances, to make up grievances where I have none, so I can seem some kind of way, you know? But I understand both sides. I can understand why people would be distrustful on the other side of things. I don't know. Anyways, I'm ranting. I should probably stop talking now. But I also wanted to share that side. I hope that didn't make me seem unlikable. Maybe I just am unlikable. I don't know. That was the February watch news that stood out to me. Did I miss anything big? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for your viewership. I appreciate it so much. Thank you as well to IFL for sponsoring this video, and thank you to the Pope tier patrons. Aw yeah. Get their names on the screen. Hello to the gorgeous, fabulous, wonderful Pope tier patrons, the people who keep this channel going. Thank you to all tiers of patrons. You all keep this channel going in a financially viable thing for me, but the biggest thank you ever, the biggest shout out ever to the names on this screen. Thank you so much. I hope you keep enjoying the work we do here. Even if you don't, I hope you keep enjoying watches forever. And even if you're like, you know, being a patron isn't a financially viable thing for me right now, that's fine too. Dip out, keep enjoying the channel. Thank you for sponsoring the channel in any way, even if it's just with eyeballs. Eyeballs are awesome. What am I talking about? Okay, thank you. Bye, guys.